introduction of classes, methods, functions that are written in C, perhaps some preprocessor defined, some typedefs, all those combined together with the documentation associated with all that to form what's known as a framework. There are over 80 different frameworks that are part of Mac OS X. The Foundation framework, as its name implies, provides a foundation for developing your applications, whether on Mac OS X, on the iPhone, or on the iPod Touch. The Foundation framework contains a number of classes that allow you to do things like work with number objects, work with string objects in your programs, and work with things known as collections, which include arrays, dictionaries, and sets. The Foundation framework also includes classes that allow you to handle memory management through something known as the auto release pool. We'll be discussing that in detail later in this course. Also allows you to do things like manipulate files and archive objects, which is the ability to save an object and its data to a disk, for example, and then restore that data back next time when the application resumes execution. Now, Cocoa is a name that's applied to a combination of two frameworks, namely the Foundation and the Application Kit or AppKit frameworks. Some people say also that the Core Data framework is also included as part of Cocoa, but that's really just semantics. Cocoa Touch, as you can see, consists of also the Foundation framework, which is part of Cocoa, but instead of the Application or AppKit framework, Cocoa Touch includes the UI Kit framework. UI stands for User Interface here, and things like labels and buttons and tables and so forth, things, objects that you see on your iPhone's display, those are handled as part of this UI Kit framework. So let's make sure you're familiar with the steps involved in creating a new project in Xcode, just in case you didn't take part one of this series. I'm going to go into Xcode now, and all the projects in part one and most of the ones in part two, up until the time we're going to be working with the iPhone applications, will be created using the following steps. We're going to go start up Xcode here. This will give me my menu up here. I'm going to go to the File menu, select New Project, and under New Project I'm going to come down here under Mac OS X, and I'm going to click on Applications. So I'm going to click on Applications here, and I'm going to come over to Command Line Tool, click on that, and under Command Line Tool, if Foundation is not already selected here, I'm going to pick Foundation, and then click on Choose here, and select the name of my project, which I'll call Foo here. I'm going to create it on the desktop, click on Save, and that will create a template file for me. Once again, if you've taken part one, you're familiar with this entire procedure. This is a template program here, and just like the template here, which uses NSLog to write its output, we use NSLog in this series as well, because we're not interested in working with a UI at this point in the course. So NSLog will allow us to look at the output, and we're using scanf as well to get data in from the user. So what we typically will do here is we'll go to the Run menu, pull up the console, and under the console here I'm going to click on Build and Run. That's going to compile and then run my program if there are no errors in it. And here we get the output from the program, which is the output from that template program that Xcode inserted when I created a new project. The output in particular here is Hello World. Once again, NSLog puts other stuff before the output that you write, such as the date the program was run, the time, the process ID, the name of your program, etc. So here's the output we're interested in here. You'll notice some things here, which is just my way of getting rid of some of the messages that Xcode version 3.2 displays. This is just displayed in these messages here are really just displayed in a very, very tiny type with a very, very light colored font, very light gray, so that you don't notice them when I run the sample programs. So that's how we're going to build our applications for part 2 of this course. The other thing I wanted to mention in this introduction to the Foundation framework is the forum that exists